Very good afternoon to one and all present here. So good afternoon to each one present here. It's my immense pleasure to host this precious subject lecture, which is organized by the Department of English, especially for the first year BTech students. With a happy note, I request Ms. Rama, Assistant Professor in English, to welcome the gathering.
Good afternoon and a very welcome to all. I, D. Rama, Assistant Professor in English, on behalf of our department, would like to thank the management for giving me this opportunity to share this welcome address with you. I sincerely welcome Dr. N.S. Subhashri, Dean HNS, Dr. Mary Thomas, the guest, and Head of Department English, Dr. M. Chandrasena Rajeshwaran, for gracing this lecture. I would extend my welcome to all the faculties, the students who grace this occasion. Faculty of Engineering and Technology, first year, BTech, and Department of English welcomes you all for the subject lecture on Importance of Punctuation in English Language, exclusively for first year BTech students by Dr. Mary Thomas, Dean, English. I extend my sincere thanks to all the faculties who have organized this event. I organized the subject lecture. I hope this session would actually enlighten the students as well as the faculties. Thank you.
Thank you, Rama ma'am. Now I pleased to invite our Dean ENS, Dr. N.S. Subhashri, to give a keynote address.
So thank you, Mr. Vasantan. Hope I'm audible. Am I audible? Yeah. So
Yes,
congratulations to the department for having initiated a subject lecture. And dear students, now this subject lecture, even though it is streamed live in YouTube, since we need to cater to all the students of ENT, we are doing this. But the subject lecture is something which is attached which is going to travel with you along with the syllabus and the curriculum. So today's topic is one of the topic that is available in your syllabus. Okay, so I request all the students to carefully watch and take down the notes. Okay, we have got a very good speaker with us, Dr. Mary Thomas, our own Dean English Madam, who is well versed in the subject, and she is going to enlighten you. And today's topic is the most important topic, right? And moreover, English as a not as a subject, as a language, it is very important for students like you, because when you go to placement or when you do a group discussion and all, English plays a very important role. So more than the subject, like as a language, I request all the students to take very seriously and practice English as fluently as you can. Okay, I congratulate and appreciate the department for taking a very good initiative under a short notice. I just informed last week only, but they have done a marvelous work, and I thank the English department for having organized such a good lecture. Once again, I thank you and I welcome you all.
Thank you, ma'am. It's our pleasure, and we were honored by your words. And now I request Ms. Abhinaya to introduce the speaker of the session.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I would like to invite our Dean, Department of English, Dr. Imjor Educational and Research Institute. She is a dynamic and articulate English professional with a penchant for teaching, writing, and public speaking. She did PhD in English from the University of Madras, and also she has cleared the SLET exam in the year 2000 and has 23 years of teaching experience at the top institution in Chennai. A highly committed teacher who achieves maximum results from her students, whether it be exams or other extracurricular activities conducted on campuses or even at the intercollegiate level. Once again, I would like to invite our Dean, ma'am, to deliver her lecture on the topic Importance of Punctuation in English Language.
Thank you, ma'am. It's time for the lecture. I proudly invite our dear Dean, English, Dr. Mary Thomas, to take a position of this session. Aparna, ma'am, I need your help. I need to share the PPT. So I'm having the PPT with me.
So a very good morning, very good afternoon to each and everyone gathered here. Am I audible to everyone? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Okay, I would like to thank Dean Yendis Subasri ma'am and the English department for coming up with this session. I think this is the second time I'm meeting the BTech students this year. And this year the first time, but last year, the end of last year, we met, and I'm so glad that the ENDIS, Dean ENDIS, and the English department has come up with this session today. And first, when Vasan sir called me just day before yesterday, yes,
ma'am, I need a small help. Sorry for the
yes,
HOD ma'am is there. She need to
yes,
felicitate us. Extremely sorry, ma'am.
yes. No problem, no problem.
Okay, Aparna ma'am, help me to connect.
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Ma'am is not here, sir.
Okay, okay. So that's why a confusion happened. I was seeing the faces and I am just doing the work. 1 minute, ma'am. I'll make a call and I'll let her join. Aparna ma'am, we shall continue.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Extremely sorry. I regret for this. Aparna ma'am, please bring the PPT.
Is HOD ma'am here?
Yes, no ma'am. We shall continue, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am was busy with some other work, I guess.
Okay. So I'm so happy to meet the BTech students. First time this year, and last year we met, learning how to speak English fluently through music and through song and poem. And this time, when Vasan sir called me and said that we need to have a subject lecture, and it has to be connected with the course. I said, you choose the topic, and we will have the subject lecture. It was very short notice, but he came up with this interesting suggestion of having a session on punctuation. So in the beginning, when he said punctuation, I was just thinking, it's only punctuation. It's going to be a boring session, isn't it? Just punctuation, because punctuation is something that everyone knows, and the basics of punctuation, and everyone knows because everyone they do write and they do publish, and so especially the BTech students, a brilliant group of students, you should be really well versed in this, in punctuation. And then I later on just went ahead and thought for myself, the importance of punctuation is very crucial. Okay, it's very crucial because everyone knows the basics of punctuation, and we are taught that at school, how to use full stops, commas, and question marks. And yet, we see ignorance to punctuation marks and indifference to punctuation marks everywhere. And then I remembered the one book that I read about in 2005, and this is a book on punctuation. And this is a book called, I think if you get this book, I think I suggest that all of you should read it, because this is by an editor called Lynn Truss, okay, Lynne Truss, Truss. And she is talking about the zero tolerance approach to punctuation. So suddenly it reminded me of this book, and this has everything that you need to know about punctuation. It's called The Zero Tolerance Approach to Punctuation by Lynn Truss. So, so I'm just going to make this a very simple talk, all right, and make you just understand the basics of punctuation, so that it will stay in your memory and in your mind as you go forward in your course with engineering. Because as engineers, you need to write progress reports, you need to write assignments, and you need to write projects. So all these things need a good fluency in the language. Okay, you have to be well versed in English, and especially we find that punctuation is very crucial for that. Okay, like I have said in the second slide, punctuation is crucial. And what is the definition of punctuation? All right. And so Lynn Truss says that punctuation holds the fabric of language in shape. Punctuation marks are the traffic signals of language. All right. In the title, you don't have to put a punctuation. All right. That is why I don't have punctuation marks in the titles. So it holds the fabric of language in shape, and it marks the language like traffic signals. Okay. So to highlight this, the importance of punctuation, I'd like to share with you a story. All right. And I think all our students, BTech and humanities, all students are interested in stories. All of us are interested in stories. So I would just like to share this story with you. Okay. It's very interesting. A panda. Okay. A panda is a animal found where? Yes. In Australia. Very good. A panda one day walks into a cafe. All right. And he orders a sandwich. This panda orders a sandwich, eats it, and then draws a gun and fires 2 shots in the air. All right. And the waiter is very confused. He says, he asks the panda just is walking towards the exit. And he asks the panda, he says, why? Why did you shoot? Why did you shoot into the air? And the panda produces a badly punctuated wildlife manual and tosses it over his shoulder. Okay. He says, I'm a panda. He says at the door, look it up. Okay. The waiter turns to the relevant entry and sure enough finds an explanation. Okay. Is panda, large black and white bear-like mammal native to China, eats, shoots, and leaves. All right. So pandas are found in China, eats, shoots, and leaves. All right. So here the comma is after eats. As you can see here, I'm talking here about the comma, and the comma is not a terminal punctuation. All right. So the comma is all elusive. Okay. The third slide, the all elusive comma. Okay. People just use commas everywhere. Okay. But comma is used to illuminate the grammar of a sentence, to point up some literary qualities like rhythm, direction, pitch, tone, and flow. Now, here in this story, as I narrated it to you, why does a panda shoot? See, the panda shoots because, see, he's a native of China, and he eats shoots and leaves. There's no need of a comma after eats. But when you put a comma after eats, okay, it means that eats, he shoots and leaves. Okay, so comma can make such a drastic difference in what you have to say. That's why I have titled it as the all elusive comma, and thinking of the story of the panda. All right, the panda eats shoots and leaves. Okay, what are shoots? They are the small saplings of plants, and leaves. But in this wildlife manual that the panda supposed to have read, after eats there's a comma. And so when the comma comes after eats, it means that the panda has to shoot and leave. All right. So that is what happens. So the comma is very important in a sentence, and it makes a world of difference of meaning. You know, it makes it really highlights the meaning of the sentence, and there is a difference in meaning. If you look at these two sentences very closely, I want all the students to look at these sentences, because here we are talking about the comma and how we use it. We keep using comma right and left, but look at it. If you use the comma in the wrong place, all right, eats, shoots and leaves. Panda eats, shoots and leaves. That everybody knows. But when you put the comma after eats, what happens? It changes the meaning of the sentence completely. It changes the meaning completely. It means that the panda eats, he shoots a gun and leaves. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. That we in the English department want to really reiterate to each one of you is that punctuation is very crucial. Okay, when we write. And the next slide, as you go on to the next slide. So this one, just keep in mind, it's very interesting. And when you think, when you have to write, you just think of the panda and how he eats, shoots and leaves. All right. And the next slide, I have again reiterated one more sentence, which is there all over the, I think, the internet. You know, you see this. It talks about the importance of the comma and where it should be used. And there is also can you see two dots there? Two very prominent dots. That's a colon. All right. So a colon is written after an independent clause. Okay. A woman. Now that what it's saying is a woman, colon. Without her, man is nothing. All right. Read the two sentences. A woman. Without her, man is nothing. Now, the next sentence that I've written for you there is, a woman without her man is nothing. See where the commas are coming there. See, a woman, comma, without her man, comma, is nothing. So you look at the two sentences and you see the complete difference in meaning that it conveys. Okay, well, the first sentence says that a woman is all powerful. Okay, without her, man is nothing. Okay, without woman, man is nothing. But what happens in the second sentence when you add the comma in places like after a woman, comma, without her man, after without her man, again another comma, is nothing. So what is the meaning that is conveyed here? The woman is very dependent, and without her man, she is nothing. See the two extreme differences in meaning. All right. So how much? So punctuation is very crucial. Like I told you earlier, boys and girls, punctuation is very crucial. If you put a comma in the wrong place, it really changes the meaning of the sentence. Okay. What the writer wants to convey, it changes the meaning of the sentence. So in these two slides, you could have seen how a comma is very crucial, and if you put it in the wrong place, it will change the meaning of the sentence. Okay. Now, there are certain places in which you should use a comma, and I will just tell you that comma is used for lists. For example, if you say the 4 refreshing fruit flavors are orange, lemon, strawberry, and lime. So where do you put the commas here, students? Where will you put the commas here? This is a list, okay? So the 4 refreshing fruit flavors are orange, lemon, strawberry, and lime. So when I read the sentence itself, can you follow a rhythm in the sentence? All right. The 4 refreshing fruit flavors are orange, lemon, strawberry, and lime. And lime. Okay. So where will the commas be here? Can anyone tell me? Yes. It's after orange, lemon. So we have a comma after orange. We have a comma after lemon. But after strawberry, we don't have a comma because you have a conjunction. All right? You have a conjunction and. So commas are used in lists. We find that commas are used in lists mainly, and commas are used to join. 2 complete sentences are joined together if you use such conjunctions as, and, or, but, while, and yet. All right, you use commas. The boys wanted to stay up until, so now you tell me where the comma should come. The boys wanted to stay up until midnight, but they grew tired and fell asleep. All right, so here we have conjunctions coming, right? But the boy wanted to stay up until midnight, but they grew tired and fell asleep. So where does the comma come? Yes, before but. I thought I had the biggest bag of fruits, yet Kathy proved me wrong. All right, now here where does the comma come? I thought I had the biggest bag of fruits, yet Catherine proved me wrong. So where does the comma come there? So we find that it comes after fruits, before yet. Okay. So when stylists deliberately omit the conjunction and just keep the comma, then you can add a semicolon. Okay. So that is what happens here. A woman, colon, without her man is nothing. But when you, so this, what is the meaning of this sentence? A woman without her man is nothing. Man is nothing without her. But in the next sentence, a woman, comma, without her man is nothing. So what happens is the meaning is completely changed. All right. So commas are used for lists, for joining 2 complete sentences, and also, so the meaning of the sentence is very, very dependent on this punctuation mark, the comma. So this is a very simple punctuation, but very, very crucial. For example, this sentence, and there are many more sentences like this. Okay. So the English language, first, it seems it picked up all these punctuation marks during the 16th century, during the time of the French Emperor Charlemagne. All right. So that's just something that you need to know. All right. So the next slide, we go on to the question mark. Now, there are 3 terminal punctuations. Okay, I will tell you what they are. One is the 3 terminal punctuations are the full stop, the exclamation mark, and the question mark. All right. The question mark is one of the very direct punctuation marks. It comes at the end of a interrogative sentence. It comes at the end of a interrogative sentence. All right. The question mark is a terminal punctuation. It comes, so all the punctuations that come at the end of a sentence are called what? What are they called? They are called terminal punctuations. All right. So which are the three that comes after the sentence, after a complete sentence? Can you tell me, students? Yes, very good. The full stop, the exclamation mark, and the question mark. So we find that question marks are used when the question is direct. For example, what is the capital of Belgium? Have you been there? Did you find the people friendly? Sometimes we tend to omit these question marks. Okay, when we start a sentence with what, why, where, and then and we write a long sentence and we forget that we have asked a question. At the end of the sentence, we forget to put this question mark. So this is a terminal punctuation, and after the every question, see, it is always a direct question, and it is an interrogative sentence. After that, we should have a question mark. All right, so this is one terminal punctuation. So a punctuation that comes at the end of a sentence is called a terminal punctuation, and question mark belongs to that list. Three amongst those punctuations. First one is full stop. Full stop is in British English, we call full stop period in American English. All right. So I think you have understood. So when the crucial positioning of the comma, all right, which is not a terminal punctuation, it comes in between lists and two complete sentences. It comes in between that. And now you've understood the question mark, which is after, it's a terminal punctuation after the complete sentence. Okay. So now the next one is, I'm making it very simple for you to understand because I want all the BTech students of our Dr. MGR University to be really exemplary in your written language, English. And we have to go step by step. All right. So here we have the exclamation mark. Now, exclamation mark is also called a terminal punctuation. All right. Now, this term, what is a terminal punctuation? Yes. Terminal punctuation is something that comes at the end of a sentence. Very good. So, this stop includes a sudden admiration of what we read or write. All right. Now we suddenly, we send messages and we suddenly come across something that we really admire, and we say, "Wow, it's beautiful. It's really lovely." At the end of it, we have this exclamation mark. Okay. So what I wanted to tell you is that you can really have a flair for writing. Okay. And you can really convey strong emotion when you write. When we convey strong emotion, like when someone you have this onomatopoeic words like ouch, pew, wow, so you have after ouch, I think it's really hurting, ouch. So after ouch, you don't put a comma, you don't put a semicolon or colon or apostrophe, anything. You put a exclamation mark. Ouch. Exclamation mark is one just long line with a dot at the end of it. Okay. Phew. It's been a hot day today. All right. When you say pew, all right, you're just making a sound. It's a very strong emotion that you convey. So then after pew, you just put an exclamation mark. So it is, as I told you, it's traditionally used in involuntary ejaculations. Okay. Now, just recently, there was a news that ayo from Malayalam is actually now in the Oxford dictionary. All right. It's a word that has been added in the Oxford dictionary. And ayo, IO conveys a strong emotion. Okay, it conveys different kinds of emotions, but this word from the Malayalam dictionary has been added in the Oxford English Dictionary recently. And IO is also a word which is an involuntary ejaculation. All right, when somebody gives you a terrible news, you say IO, and then after IO, you have to put a exclamation mark. All right. So there are different ways in which strong emotion can be expressed. And so when you express strong emotion and you put this exclamation mark, it shows, it reveals to the reader that you are well versed in the language. All right. So now there's a sentence, you want to write to your beloved or your girlfriend. So you say, to salute or invoke you, and then, oh, mistress of mine, oh, beautiful, with beautiful eyes. Every time you write something with a strong emotion, you can put an exclamation mark. And when you exclaim, like, how many goodly creatures are here who will understand what I'm saying? How many people are here that, will hear me? Like when you say friends, Romans, countrymen, then those speeches, dramatic exclamations, all right? At every time, friends, exclamation mark, Romans, exclamation mark, countrymen, exclamation mark. So exclamation mark is something that I really love, and which you can really convey strong emotion with. All right. So as I told you, so I think you've understood how a comma can change the meaning of a sentence completely. All right. And how a question mark, it just asks a direct question. Okay. So what, where, why, how? When you begin a sentence with all these, and when you ask, did you go to the fruit market this afternoon? Did you see Evangeline on the way, or did you see Karthik in the shop? All is a direct question. So you have to have this question mark. Okay. If you say Karthik, why are you here? So what should I use there? Karthik, why are you here? There you have to use a exclamation mark after Karthik. And then, why are you here? Question mark. Okay, so that is something that we have to learn as English language users. It's very important. So I think I've tried to make this talk very simple, because I feel, it is a very simple, basic learning curve, when we use these kind of explanation, all these marks, punctuation marks. Okay, now this one, this hyphen. Okay, now hyphen is very interesting. All right, because I was also muddled about using hyphens. It can really be confusing. Some writers are confused, some authors of books are confused where to use hyphens. And it's a very what to say, elusive punctuation mark, the hyphen. Okay, now for example, there is this cutting a dash with a hyphen. That's how Lynn Truss in Zero Tolerance of Punctuation states cutting a dash with hyphen. So if you can understand, cutting a dash with hyphen, cutting a rope with hyphen. Okay. Now, for example, is it pen holder or pen hyphen holder? Tell me, students, is it pen holder or pen dash holder? Now, what about well-being? Is it a hyphenated word? Is it well-being or well-being? And is it awestruck or hyphenate hyphen and struck? So here again, this kind of, it boggles your mind, right? It boggles your mind when to use a hyphen and when not to use a hyphen. But just remember one thing, hyphens are used in a compound word. Hyphens are used in a compound word. It breaks single words into parts. Very, very simple. All right. Hyphens are used in a compound word. It breaks single words into parts. For example, when you say truck driver, all right, always you see truck hyphen driver. When you say ice cream, ice hyphen cream. Year end, year hyphen end. Warm up, do your warm up exercise. Okay, so warm up, warm hyphen up. And for example, there are many words using hyphen. For mother-in-law, mother-in-law has two hyphens. Sister-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law has two, after mother hyphen, after in hyphen, and after law hyphen. All right. So we find that this is also an interesting punctuation, the hyphen. All right. So that is why I have used it here. I have highlighted it in this session. All right. So we go on to the next. So this is quotation marks. Now, quotation marks, we have to always acknowledge the people from whom we copy. All right. We tend to paraphrase, or we tend to quote authors and writers. You know, especially when we are writing a project, or when you're writing a report, or when you're writing a research article, we tend to use sentences that other scientists, writers, and craftsmen have used. All right. So it is double quotes or single quotes, that is immaterial. Okay. So when the dialogue stands on its own, the full stop comes inside the inverted comma. That's what you have to remember. You know, that's always a confusion. You know, a confusion when we write. Where will the full stop come? When we write quotation, we put quotation marks. Okay, for direct speech, we have to use a quotation mark. All right. So when the dialogue stands on its own, the full stop comes inside the inverted comma. But when only a fragment of speech is being quoted, we put the punctuation mark outside the inverted comma. All right. So that is something that we have to realize, that this inverted comma is not at all is not difficult to learn in any way. But when we use inverted comma, where will this inverted comma come? All right, that is what the question is. So that this is where it comes. Okay. And so it is not, it is quotation marks are used when we talk about, when we have when we have a sentence, and in the middle of the sentence we say that John said, okay, open inverted comma, I am in a fix. All right. So this is a direct speech. All right. So you have the quotation mark. Okay. When we quote some author, okay, they say that friends, Romans, countrymen. It's not your own sentence, right? So you're quoting from Shakespeare. And so you have to have the quotation mark. So always acknowledge the writer or the author from whom you have taken that idea. All right. And to acknowledge in two ways. You can either acknowledge it as it is. When you acknowledge it as it is, then you have to use quotation mark. But when you acknowledge it as a paraphrase, you paraphrase what the author writer has said, you don't have to use quotation mark. Only when the quotation is direct. Okay, when the quote is direct, you have to use the quotation mark. All right. So this is something that I wanted to share with you. So I hope you've understood and I've made it clear. I think I've made it as simple as possible. So now we go on to the last part. Okay, I know that your patience must be running out. See now this is again the last is the period or the full stop. Okay, I don't want to confuse you with too many explanations. All right, I don't want to confuse you. So here we've come to the period. Period is the American English for full stop. All right, or full stop. Now, this is also a terminal punctuation. This is also a terminal punctuation. So, what are the three terminal punctuations, students? Yes, very good. We have the full stop, we have the exclamation, and we have the question. All right. So, full stop is used at the end of a sentence. All right. A full stop is used at the end of a sentence. We cannot go on writing a sentence without using the full stop. It is very important that we have this full stop. Sometimes people just go on writing without even putting a full stop. All right, when one idea is conveyed, all right, when that is written in a complete sentence with the main clause and the subordinate clause, and it conveys full meaning, then at the end of it, we have the full stop. So it is also at the end of all imperative sentences. For example, put the bike in the car shed. He put the bike in the car shed. Or when you give a command, put the bike in the car shed. At the end of it comes a full stop. Or he put the bike in the car shed. It's also at the end of it comes a full stop. The gardener planted the seeds. Okay, so the gardener planted the seeds. It's a complete sentence, after which we have the full stop. So when we have the full stop, it means that the sentence has come to an end. And that is why we call this a terminal punctuation. So we have three terminal punctuations. What are they? What are they? Yes. First one is a full stop. The second one is exclamation. And the third one is a question. All right. And then we have the comma. That is the all elusive comma. Here I focused on the terminal punctuation and the comma because comma makes a lot of a difference. Hyphen, as you know, nowadays we find that hyphen is used for in every to separate two words. Warm up. To separate two words, a hyphen is used. All right. So we find that we can use hyphen when we separate two words. Okay. I want to talk to you about one more very important punctuation mark, but I think I'm running short of time. Anyway, I will just brief you about that, and then it is an apostrophe. All right, an apostrophe. Okay, there are many more exclamation marks. I mean, there are many more punctuation marks, but this apostrophe, especially when it comes to its, I just want to make it very clear. Okay, when it comes to its, the confusion is there. Especially, I find this among students. When apostrophe is that comma that you put on top, before the S. All right. Now, I find this confusion amongst students. Okay. When it comes to its, when it's in the possessive, it is not between IT and S. When it is in the possessive, it is not between IT and S. All right. Make it very clear. When it's in the possessive, it is not between IT and S. It is after. All right. Its beak was as sharp as a talon. All right. It is possessive. But when it's contracted, that means then it comes IT. It's a apostrophe and S. All right. So this especially I wanted to share with you. So where do you put the apostrophe in its when it's possessive? Before the S. And where do you put the apostrophe when it is contractive? For example, it's Monday, so we all have to go to college. It's Monday, so let's all start work. So it is. So that becomes contractive. So this confusion is there, and so I just wanted to make it very simple for you. Okay, when it's possessive and it's in a singular noun, it is you have to use the boy's hat. So where will you put the apostrophe? It will be BOY apostrophe S, hat. Now, so when it is possessive, the apostrophe comes after, and when it's contractive, it comes in between. All right. So it's very, very important that it indicates time or quantity also. Okay, in 1 week time, when we say 1 week's time, 2 weeks notice, and singular, it comes before. So I don't confuse you, but I just want to tell you that it's especially because when I find when people when we write, we put the apostrophe in the wrong place, especially for it's. All right. So it's when confusion of it's is when it's possessive, it's after. When it's contractive, it is before. It's it apostrophe s. All right. Okay. Then so that's I think time is running out. So I think I've made it as simple as possible. So I just want you to remember this. The comma can change the meaning of a sentence. All right. So I will just to end this session, I think Vasant sir, I have asked him to share some very funny sentences with you, which you can see on your screen. All right. It shows how the elusive comma changes the meaning of the sentence completely. All right. So your Vasant sir can share those sentences. It's like the panda eats, shoots, and leaves. All right. It's like that. Many more sentences that I came across, which really it makes such a difference in meaning. So I think you can see that in your screens, and I hope you've understood, and I hope you will remember. Okay, here. So stop clubbing baby seals. Okay, example 1. Most of the time, travelers worry about their luggage. Now, delete the comma after the 4th word. Now, when you delete the comma after the 4th word, it completely changes the meaning of the sentence. Most of the time, travelers worry about their luggage. So, most of the time, travelers worry about their luggage. Okay? Most of the time, travelers worry about their luggage. So, here, most of the time, travelers worry about their luggage. But here, most of the time travelers, when you remove that comma, it means time travelers. All right? Then the next one. Stop clubbing baby seals. So what they are saying is, it's actually an instruction. It is a plea that is going out to wildlife to save the wildlife. Stop clubbing baby seals. Okay, it means stop killing baby seals or stop culling baby seals. But here it means that stop clubbing. Okay, it means that the seals have a club and they're all clubbing. Okay, when the comma comes in between the first 2 words, it changes the meaning entirely. Okay, and the next one is also very, very interesting. The next one, she cooks her family and her dog. Okay, so she cooks her family and her dog. What is the irony in the sentence? Okay, there's no There's no comma at all. So it looks like she cooks her family as well as her dog. Okay. What it means is she cooks her family. She cooks and I think they find inspiration. She finds inspiration in cooking for her family and her dog. That is the meaning. All right. So she finds inspiration cooking. And then when you put a comma after cooking, her family and her dog. Okay. What does it mean? It means that she finds inspiration in cooking both her family and her dog. Okay. So it changes the meaning, and it says the dog looks so worried because it's going to be cooked. All right. Eat, Ray, and love. So Rachel Ray finds inspiration in cooking her family and her dog. Okay. So that's because there's no comma there. Okay. Now here, let's eat grandpa. The fourth sentence. Let's eat grandpa. So here it means let's eat grandpa means let's have grandpa for a meal. Okay. So correct punctuation can save a person's life. So that's what I want to tell you all. A correct punctuation can save a person's life. Actually it is a sentence which says let's eat. Let's come and eat, grandpa. Okay, you're inviting grandpa to eat. But when we say let's eat grandpa without the comma, it means that you're eating grandpa. All right. So there are many more like this. Okay. So the examples are given for you. You can go through it. Okay. And you can also go through the link that is given, so that you will find that comma is very crucial in punctuation. And if you find you come across these the book that I suggested, the Zero Tolerance Approach to Punctuation, if you're interested, you can read. Okay, it's by Lynn Truss. Okay, these are light-hearted looks at punctuation, and I'm sure that you have understood that punctuation is very crucial in writing. Okay, in English language, and I've tried to make it I've tried to simplify it for you all, and I hope you've understood. All right, and I hope this session has been useful for our BTech students. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's this time this lecture was wonderful, and we were very happy on this presentation. It is very informative, as well a much needed lecture for all the students, even for us. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Hasan. Thank you.
Thank you once again, ma'am. And hi, participants. Feedback link is posted, will be posted. Okay. So I kindly request all of you to claim your attendance by filling the feedback. Okay. So feedback is very, very important. It was there on the screen. Okay. So that must be filled. Okay. So that you will get your attendance. And here we come for the end of the session. I request Ms. Jyoti, Assistant Professor in English, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Dr. Mary Thomas, Dean, Department of English, and thank Madam for sharing her knowledge with us. Madam showed us how powerful punctuation markers are in our life. Thank you for that, Madam. Students gained an idea about the topic which will be helpful in their exam point of view. I also thank Dr. N.S. Subhashri, Dean, E&S, Dr. M. Chandrasena Rajeshwaran, HOD, Department of English, and other English faculties who worked behind this. Also, a very big thanks to all the students present here for paying your attention and learning. Thank you.
Thank you all, and have a happy weekend.
Yes.